Hi, it's James here from the Sprinkle Donut Forge in Moscow, Texas, and I thought I'd do something a little festive. I tried planting some roses in my forge here and just ended up with clinker, so I decided to make some out of metal. This was requested of me by a good friend, and here's what I've got for patterns. A little leaflet that goes underneath the rose bloom. Then you've got 3 of these. Only difference being is the clefts are cut deeper progressively, shallow, not quite so shallow, and a little deeper. And then of course the center, which is 3 petals. Now if you stack them up just right, pin them onto the stem, you can start bending these things in one at a time. I've already got my pattern pieces cut out. Here's a copper stem with some leaf blanks that I'm going to draw into leaves. And here's the pieces cut out of copper. Notice how I slit inward, leave about a 1 1/8 inch diameter circle. If you look at a circle without cuts being there. And there's the steel stem, and these are some sheet steel pieces. Now they got paint on them. You gotta be real cautious when burning paint off anything in your forge. I don't recommend doing it. You can strip this with chemical stripper, whatever makes you more comfortable. I've got a good draft hood, so one at a time I'm going to burn them clean before I remove them so I don't breathe any paint smoke. So I'll start working on this and let you see what I'm doing. See you in a minute. Now what you have to do is make it look like flower petals. Flower petals aren't made out of smooth metal, so you have to give them some striations that will show when you fold them into a flower. Now if you put all your striations on the upside and then you fold them in, you're not really going to see them. You want to make sure that the side that's going to be facing outwards to be viewed has the striations, and you want to make sure there's enough done to it to where the tips of the petals that fold out will also show that. So I reversed the last piece, which is the first one you start bending. Anyway, there's what smooth looks like. There's what textured looks like, and I'll show you how I'm doing this texture. Got this little ball peen hammer that I made into this small hot cut, and it's kind of blunted. I've dressed it for this, so it takes a lot of patience. I'm not going to show you all of them. I'm going to show you how I'm doing it. Don't hit your finger. It's easy to do. And you see the back side that was against the anvil, it got a little bit of marking on it, which is kind of pretty. But this is the side. I'm going to try to get it where you can see the texture. There you go. You notice that I work from the center outwards, making sure not to put marks crosswise, just this one direction. Alright, well I'm going to do this to all these, same way I did the little one here, and I'll get back with you. See you in a minute. Alright, next thing is I'm going to try to fold these leaves out by heating up the area where the stem joins the leaf, and use the hot cut to spread those away so I can work on them independently and try to round up the shaft just a little bit. Get it in there and I'll see you in a minute. Alright, it's hot. About as hot as I'd ever want to get it. Have to be kind of delicate working with this thin stuff. Yeah, I'm not going to try to spread that one anymore without more heat, but you can see I'm beginning to get it to move away from the shaft. So I'm going to heat it back up, spread it a little more, and hopefully I don't break the thing off. And we'll see you in a minute. Alright, here we go. That's pretty good for that one. Let's see if I can isolate the heat and get this other one to work. It's going to be a little tricky. I'm going to take a practice run. I think I might be able to do it on the corner. That hot cut. Alright. You'll have to forgive the tongs. These are actually a pair I've put together to work on and make some slot jaw tongs out of. That's why they have such long nibs on them. They just happen to grab this really well. So heat it and then we'll beat it. See you in a minute. Alright. It's gonna be tricky. On the move. Well, it moved a little bit, but the heat leaves so fast. And I'm not going to show you both roses. We're going to work on the steel one. And then I'll make the copper one. See you in a minute. Alright, that's hot. Maybe too hot. Pushing a lot out of one heat. Alright. Yeah, I kind of like that. And there's enough stock there to make some nice leaves, I think, so I'll get to work on it. See you in a minute. Alright, let's work on the leaf a little bit. Well, yeah, I goofed. Didn't break it or anything, but a piece of mystery steel I decided to use for this. It's got a high carbon content. You can't work it cold. I barely made any headway with that. Let's heat it up again. Alright, let's try this again. I'm just going to call that acceptable and flatten the other one out the same way. Put some chisel lines in it, and we'll make the pin and get a rose put together. See you in a minute. Alright, I got you up here where you can see what's going on. You need to make the leaf a little more leaf-like. If you can see that real well or not. Anyway, I veined this side of this leaf. I'm going to vein the opposite side on this leaf. The one's going to turn one way and one the other. So I'm going to focus the heat on this leaf and we'll vein it. See you in a minute. Alright, here we go. I don't want to go crazy with it. You know, if you get your veins all perfectly symmetrical on both sides, it might pass for a leaf, but I ain't never seen a leaf that grew that way. I try to keep it a little bit simpler. A little more sporadic. Texture one side of one side of the other, opposite each other. Now, getting in there, we're going to bend one of these over. Kind of give it the attitude of a leaf. In a minute, let's get it out of there and do the twist on it. Camera's too low. Here's what I did. I bent that out and kind of curled it up a little bit. Left that vein side up where you can see it. This one's going to go the other way. Focus the heat. Back with you. Alright, back to it. Get it out of there. There's your flower stem. Now, step 99.5. I gotta create a pin on this end to slip them petals over. So let me get my heat down there and we'll work on it. See you in a minute or three. Alright, let's try to draw that down into something usable. I think we're getting there. I'm going to switch to the ball peen for delicate work. Open that door. Let it heat up a few seconds. So I'm not going to pause the video. I'll try my little hammer I made. It's hot. That little straight peen gets in that corner nice. Alright, I'm going to take this over there to the 1:30 after I cool it off and make a perfect little pin, and we'll be back with you. See you in a minute. Better touch mark this thing real quick. It's gonna be next to impossible if I do it after the fact. Ah, that'll do. You can't see it yet. I'm gonna brush this off. Be back with you for the assembly. See you in a minute. Alright, our stem is finished. Got it wire brushed off, left a nice patina, got that little pin just like I want it. So here's the assembly. You want the side that's going to show on this one up. Put your little star on there first, all the way down to the hub. That's why that pin's got to have a nice shoulder here. When these fold down, you'll see this texture. Take the largest piece, gonna put it with the textured side down. Also the next one, we're gonna put it on the textured side down. Kind of cross it to where it passes up the seam with the middle of a pedal. Now, the third piece, we're going to put it the textured side down, and we're going to cross it where the middle of a pedal and the seam of the pedals of the one underneath it. This one, we're going to put it with the textured side up. Alright, believe it or not, that's a rose. What we got to do is we got to heat this pin carefully and roll it over, or put a closure on it of some kind to keep these nice and tight. So I'm going to get that set up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use a small plumbing torch to do that so I don't disturb these pedals. See you in a minute. we go. That'll keep them from coming off. Back with you in a minute. Alright, gonna bend some pedal up. Start with one. You gotta curve it. I find these little bent needle nose help a lot. Try not to cramp it. You gotta stand up another one. Let it overlap the first one. It's thin sheet metal, so it bends pretty easy. If it's thicker metal, you wouldn't be handling it with your hand, you'd be heating it up with a torch and doing this. Stand this other one up. Just keep them overlapping, kind of going in the same direction. At least that's the way I like to do it. I hope you can see what I'm doing here. And you want to keep overlapping the pedal you worked on with the next one. Don't raise it all the way up till you get some curve in it. I'm going to crimp them. But you see, that's the reason that I tried to stagger the pedal blanks. Okay, that looks a little wonky. You can turn them if you need to.